We cannot create a system where coming here legally takes decades. That is impossible, but coming illegally, you can come here and get a lot of welfare benefits.
Coming here legally takes decades. Tell the South Africans. Yeah, they're not gonna like that. The white South Africans are not gonna like that. Hey, shout out to all the subscribers and members here on the channel. I am Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
Then let's extend slow walk investigation on Hillary Clinton, on Hunter. Everything is slow walked. We were very quick on Donald Trump, but you were very slow walked.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, I'll be honest, Maga, I am a bit conflicted. I, on the one hand, have no idea why you continue to do town halls. I really do not. It makes as much sense as fresh... Word? You want me to do this video or not? I have no idea why you continue to do town halls. I really don't. It makes about as much sense as freshman Reese deciding to keep asking girls if they would like to go to homecoming with me after getting out of the gate 0-7. You know what I mean? Like, just keep putting them up. John Starks in Game 7. Just keep putting them up. On the other hand, as somebody who makes this kind of content for a living, I love to see it. I really do. I really love to see it. Let's go to Muncie, Indiana now, shall we?
All right, for weeks now, voters have been giving lawmakers an earful at town halls across the country. On top of President Trump's deep cuts to government agencies, frustrations are also mounting over the leaked group chat with top White House officials and national security officials about the U.S. military strikes in Yemen. Here's how Republican Congresswoman Victoria Spartz responded to her constituents' questions of accountability in Westfield on Friday.
And by the way, if you're wondering at home, this is the same Victoria Spartz who said she was going to hold out before the speaker vote and then ended up folding before they even made the scene after the fact. Like, she didn't even make it to the scene with Chip Roy and them before she folded. She was out here talking all that big talk before the vote. Then she folded during the actual proceeding. She didn't even hold out and didn't even make a scene. How you gonna raise objection and you don't even make a scene? That's like snitching on First 48 before they even take you to McDonald's.
Listen, we're a country of immigrants. I came here as an immigrant. We still have my Yankee accent. But we need to make sure that we have legal processes and law and order. We cannot open the borders. We cannot create a system where coming here legally takes decades. That is impossible. But coming illegally, you can come here and get a lot of welfare benefits.
Coming here legally takes decades. Tell the South Africans. Yeah, they're not gonna like that. The white South Africans are not gonna like that.
So we have to make sure that we get the border under control. I've been at that border many times. It's insanity. So if you come here, so a lot of these people, what President Trump did it last time, what he tried. If you seek asylum, wait in the other country. Don't get in here in the country. So there is no due process if you come here illegally because you violated the law. Period. You violated the law. You are not entitled to due process.
I know she didn't just say what I think she said. I know she didn't say what I think she said.
You violated the law. You are not entitled to due process.
So if you're scoring at home, we have an actual elected official. Somebody who was elected who says if you violated the law, you're not entitled to due process. Indiana, I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at y'all. No, really. No, this is a y'all thing now. This is beyond her ignorance. This is a y'all thing.
Victoria Spartz said at a town hall, quote, "If you violate the law, you are..."
Ukrainian immigrant and Republican congresswoman from the 5th District of Indiana, which is where all of my family is from, said that if you break the law, you are not entitled to due process. I just did a whole video about her town hall, which was a disaster for her. Her constituents were livid. These are our elected representatives who are supposed to be upholding their oath to the Constitution and representing their districts. And she said that if you break the law, you are not entitled to due process. Bitch, everybody is entitled to due process. You don't even have to be an American citizen. We are innocent until proven guilty. It is not a member of ICE. It is not Pam Bondi. It is not some cop somewhere. It is not Donald Trump who decides that you have broken the law. Here's Victoria Spartz's number. Please call her. Tell her what you think about this. This is the Republican Party in 2025.
If you violate the law, you're not entitled to due process. Would you shut your holster and listen to yourself? No, I won't. I'm here to let my constituents know exactly what happens in this administration. The way you prove somebody violated the law is with due process. But I got a question for you, I guess, since we're not going that route. Is this you? Are you saying this because maybe you want chunky milk to throw this out? You don't want this to go further? You would like due process? But look, great value, House of Cards lady. You might have to Google that one. I don't understand what you think you're saying, but this is definitely against every law in America. We control and write every law in America at this point, so listen up, Toby. If you don't want that to be your name, you better leave me alone.
And even though this might be hard for you to believe, it didn't get better.
But I want to know, why has Congress, including yourself, taken limited action to address the Trump executive order establishing DOGE and hiring Musk without congressional approval or even through a thorough background? Do you agree with the action and plans of DOGE and what they have done so far? And how much is DOGE getting paid for all of the things that they're doing?
Millions. Thank you. Just getting paid. Actually, there's a lot of young entrepreneurs, very wealthy, that don't need all what they do. They do just a favor to the country.
Can I sign? Where do I sign up? Where do I? I'm an entrepreneur. I got a whole YouTube channel and I do social media. I'm an entrepreneur. I would like to do a favor for my country. Where can I get access to the information? Yes. Specifically, the student loans. Where do I see the student loan section? I'm doing favors.
If you seek asylum way in the other country, not getting here in the country. So there is no due process if you come here illegally because you violated the law. Period. You violated the law. You are not entitled to due process. Legal violation and these people violated the law. It is violated.
Should I intervene? Should I intervene? Or just let her die on the vine? Now, I want to see where this is going to go.
We take this under control. The border has to be secure because it is life of your children. It is life of you if you don't control the border. This police officer and our border patrol, brave people, risk their lives because we allow criminals to cross the border. That is wrong.
See, this is why they say teachers should get paid more. When they say teachers should get paid more, see, a teacher would know how to handle this. A teacher would know how to. I was a substitute for a whole 3 weeks, and even I know in the face of this, I'll wait. No, get it out. I'll wait.
All right, listen up, y'all. I'm y'all substitute teacher, Mr. Garvey. I taught school for 20 years in the inner city, so don't even think about messing with me.
Oh, you just gonna get on the table now? I don't think the radical left has learned yet that shouting and screaming is not going to work. No one is going to be intimidated. Shouting and screaming from the radical left is not going to work. I wonder what she think would be a more effective strategy. Something like this?
They were peaceful people. These were great people.
How about this?
The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love. The love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
Does this work? This work for you?
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm from Carmel, and I just wanted to see what your plan is to address the issue with the administration talking about classified military operations on Signal. And will you demand the immediate resignation of Pete Hegseth?
Let that be one of my goals in life, is to never have people react that way to the idea that I would lose my job. That's bad. That is bad. I don't care what your job is. It looks like we're gonna have to fire old Ray. Woo! Now that is the substitute teacher special right there. Now you got it in you, Spartz. You got that. That's the substitute teacher special right there. That's it. That's it.
I've got my eye on you, Jay Quellen.
I would demand the immediate resignation of Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, and the rest of the group chat.
Oh, they want the whole group chat gone. Okay. Well, I mean, really, if you get somebody in the group chat to fire everybody, then you just take them all out in one file. So just send the firing message, and then they all get it. Get Jeffrey Goldberg. Jeffrey Goldberg, he get in the group chat. Get Jeffrey Goldberg to send the firing, then they all get it. That's eliminating the waste, fraud, and abuse. DOGE should be on top of that.
So let me just address, no, I will not demand their resignation.
Now, let me guess what your reasoning could be for not demanding their resignation, because we've seen all the information that's come out. People have made their own opinions. Let me guess why you may not demand their resignation. Due process? Yeah. Is it due process? You wanna let it go through the channels of due process before you make a decision? Here's the problem. See, laws were violated before. You know what I mean? If you violate the law, you are not entitled to due process.
You violated the law, you are not entitled to due process.
Signed, Victoria Spartz. That was you. Uh-huh. Yeah. That is the kind of thing that you are enabling. But now you want to rest on it though, right?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I have to tell you, the government needs to do a better job. That we have tools for sensitive information where we can communicate with each other. So we don't have innocent mistake or just something happened by mistake. Because definitely it's not a good situation. So hopefully we'll take some, look at that and actually, because we don't even have as a members of Congress a lot of Democrats, Republicans using Signal because we don't have any other tools. And I was very surprised when I became member of Congress that we don't. So we have tools when we go that are very deeply classified, but you don't always have to go in a skiff and be able to have this conversation. You don't even cannot do that. So I think with all of the technologies that happen in the real world, it's sad that government is so behind on every single technology. And actually that's what Elon is trying to do. He's trying to bring technology to the government.
Spartz, yeah, you getting cooked right now. Yeah, you getting cooked. This is the part where you got to kick a student out. Send a student to the office or something.
Son of a bitch! You done messed up, Aaron. Now take your ass on down to Oshag Hennessy's office right now and tell him exactly what you did.
If you come down and have a chance to answer your question.
You talk about money? Yeah, you're right. You yourself have said that all of the people pay in blood. All of the people pay in blood. My husband's blood, the veterans' blood, your people's blood. I came here yesterday to break bread with you. I brought you bread. Because I don't want to fucking yell. I want to be nice.
Okay, ma'am. Listen, you
Now, I would love to know, what is the line that was crossed where she has to be kicked out, right? Was she just more angry than because they all seem pretty disgusted. You might as well kick everybody out if disgusted with Spartz is the rubric by which, they actually tried to do that? Rep. Victoria Spartz had a town hall in Muncie, Indiana. She turned constituents away at the door before the room was full. Now, I wonder why they would have done a thing like that. She had folks removed after the town hall started. There were about 300 of us protesting outside, so she snuck out a side door to avoid us. I can't imagine that just engendering that kind of anger from your own constituents, like your own people being that disgusted with you. I can't imagine what that must be like. That must be reserved for Ukrainian immigrants who would actually manage to blame Zelensky for the disaster White House meeting.
You grew up in Ukraine, becoming a U.S. citizen in 2000, now a sitting House member. Immediately after this exchange, you posted on X saying, and we'll quote it, "Zelensky is doing a serious disservice to the Ukrainian people just to appease Europeans." In your opinion, what needs to be done to save this U.S.-Ukrainian relationship?
Well, it's unfortunately that, you have a president of a foreign country that come for help to the American people, an American president, and acts like that. And it's really disservice to the Ukrainian people, too. It's insulting the American people after how much we've done. And the behavior of Europeans, I'll be honest with you, it became kind of like the teenage child that thinks that he can act and bash and talk bad things about their parent, and we are going to become and bail them out. And American people are getting fed up with these behaviors and thanklessness.
The kind of Ukrainian immigrant who still wouldn't hold Russia accountable for an actual attack that they launched.
Do you think that Russia would launch an attack like this if Vladimir Putin was actually serious about next week's ceasefire talks?
Well, definitely, Pamela, as you know, I always said you need to win wars as fast as you can and not as long as it takes. And now Putin has an advantage in that war. But I think he understands that President Trump is serious. He's going to be delivering on his promises, and he's going to force Russia to the table. But it's not an easy situation. Russia was able to regroup and doing a lot of damage to Ukrainian people. But I think he will get to the table, and hopefully he'll be able to push Russia at least to have a temporary resolution in brutal war.
I'm going to be honest with you, people of Muncie, people of Indiana. I don't think you're getting through to this one. I don't think you're getting through to this one. You might as well. Oh, they did walk out?
Let's go. We'll get a mic to you in just a second, sir. Thank you for being patient.
Walk out!
We have
Solidarity. Walk out. Walk out. Let's go. Walk. Get out. Tell them what
Okay, we have a question.
Walk out.
We have a question from
Walk
William from
out.
Westfield.
Walk out. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I'm in the middle of a video. You just want me to leave, right? My heart is with you, though.
Walk out.
Not working.
Just a little bit, sir. I can tell you this, that I would not be standing close to the Congresswoman because she's going to get hit by lightning for all the lies that she
But this is graph from Congressional Budget Office. Actually, a lot of Democrats don't like, and Republicans don't. So if you don't like, and actually, listen, CBO is not perfect, but if we wouldn't have CBO, the country would completely run wild, and we would completely bankrupt the country. So actually, Congressional Budget Office right now, that's what the graft are.
First of all, I got to give a shout out to that gentleman. That was a brilliant line. That was a brilliant line that gets captured as people are streaming towards the exits. That was such a beautiful scene, a beautiful sight of people streaming toward that. Y'all got any more angles? Oh, you do?
that I would not be standing close to the Congresswoman because she's going to get hit by lightning.
And by the way, if you think their anger dissipated when they got outside, think again.
Do your job! Do your job! Do your job! Do your job!
Now let's just face this, okay? And this is for Spartz, but this is also for the lot of the GOP. This is what you are faced with when you dare, as she did, to face constituents during a town hall. Yet, you still want to tell me that you're going to toe the GOP company line because you're afraid of Elon Musk's money and Trump's popularity. Where they at, though?
Someone who watches out for people. But I've got to tell you, as a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world. For justice in Wisconsin. And we won.
Where they at, though? Where they at, though?
Where they at, though? Where they at, though? Because this is what the people are saying. We've heard an awful lot lately about these town hall meetings being full of paid protesters. What I observed was a bunch of folks from the community showed up for the event who are all outraged over how the Trump administration and Congress are doing their jobs. Given that I personally knew many people in the crowd and the question askers had to provide their address, I don't believe there were many, if any, paid protesters. They were simply a lot of angry people who wanted to be heard. I give Victoria Spartz credit for actually holding the event, despite having a good idea how it would go. Clearly, her team was worried as there was a tremendous police and private security presence. They pre-screened all questions and would not let anyone attending hold a microphone. You mean to tell me these were the people that made it through the pre-screening? These were the people that made it through the pre-screening and weren't kicked out beforehand. And it still went like that.
Oh, is that so? Mm-hmm. And what, pray tell, is the reason for this premature exodus?
Now, what have we learned? Victoria Spartz continued her pattern of zero empathy, lecturing people who ask questions and not really answering the questions that people ask. Although it was a tough crowd, the atmosphere was made worse. because she came off as disingenuous, working very hard to toe the party line, and not at all the independent thinker willing to challenge her own party that she plays on the campaign trail. All in, she was not believable, and it was clear that she wanted to be the one that was heard, not the people who came to the meeting. Politics is about people. I'll say that again. Politics is about people. What I saw tonight reminded me that in today's hyper-partisan social media soundbite world, that simple truth often gets lost. If politicians spent a little more time caring about their constituents and helping people as they do on likes and retweets and getting booked on partisan podcasts and cable news, America and all of us would be better off. Well, given the fact that she likes to play the independent thinker on the campaign trail, surely she would take all of this into account and reconstruct her thoughts and her approach moving forward. Y'all know that ain't happening.
Well, unfortunately, Frederica, this town halls, which should be part of the process for us to communicate with our constituents and have dialogue, became really an organized ambush by Democrats and a lot of radical groups to push a false narrative that Republicans are doing something wrong. And that sprayed lies. So I saw it, regardless what really a lot of my colleagues understand, is becoming a safety situation, because we have a very violent group of creating chaos, which really puts safety of our staff and other constituents, police at stake, decided not to do it. I thought we still need to do it because we shouldn't be silenced, and we need to talk about the issues that are important for the American people, because we try to legislate a lot of good issues and that will benefit Americans. So we did that, but unfortunately the acting was very violent. And I'll tell you about the questions relating to Pete Huck that is kind of hypocritical, that, that a lot of people are so fighting for the same due process for people here illegally, which realistically we can do only in a limited way. They don't feel that actually people like Pete Hegseth should have a due process before we're going to do any, demand resignations and take them out of their position that they were appointed to. If some innocent mistakes happen, we always have room for improvement. But I think they're entitled for more due process, not a mob rule, than illegals in our country that violated law and working with cartels and create dangers in the country.
Now, I got to give you like a semi-half point for recognizing your own hypocrisy with regards to the Pete Hegseth thing and the due process. But I also want to use it as an opportunity to highlight just how problematic this is when you eliminate due process for people who are in this country, and when your line for eliminating due process is that you have violated the law. Well, if there's no due process, then there's no way to, right? You see, right? See, exactly. And we could all be susceptible to that kind of thing. That's the reason why I went so hard in the paint at Lawrence Jones on that Black Maga video for laughing and poo-pooing Tom Homan as he talked about rounding up protesters. That is a very serious issue. As far as you MAGAs are concerned, y'all ain't gonna learn. And you know what? That's fine. That's you know what I mean? That's fine. Apparently there has to be actual elections. And if you want to kick the can down the road to the other side of that, I guess we'll just find out then. Now, won't we?
Future leaders of America.
Okay. How would you know if you're gonna be a leader in the future? Is there a Stargate in your bedroom? Can you travel through town, Jay Quellen?
No.
Just sit the flip down.
Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. The day has finally arrived. We have new merch, which is live on the website. You'll notice some of that has some new logos. So I would love to get you guys' opinion on that. So stay tuned for some polls. Look out for those in the community tab. And by the way, those members, be on the lookout for a discount for you guys as well. And speaking of members, I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who joined the last Members Live celebration. I wish Lauren Boebert would. I wish he would. Because I can go in the trunk. I can get my fat lever. You want me to get mellow on you? And speaking of which, apparently you guys really enjoy both the Black Maga and the Karen content.
we have Republicans that are not even willing to address you.
Could that be a new regular bit on the horizon? Stay tuned.